Surviving a major cardiac event, like a heart attack or an ischemic stroke, is only half the battle. For patients aged 40 to 85 who return home to live alone, the physiological stress of isolation creates a high-risk environment, leaving them exceptionally vulnerable to a fatal second event. This chart visualizes survival rates for individuals who have already suffered a major coronary event. A meta-analysis of 3.8 million people reveals a massive divergence. Dog owners experience a 65% lower risk of dying compared to non-owners. Statistical models show that this survival advantage remains even after accounting for the increased physical activity of walking. The reduction in mortality persists independently of the extra exercise. The presence of a pet functions as a measurable biological buffer against these mortality risks. To understand how an animal in your living room extends your lifespan, we most track the evidence across three specific levels: your cardiovascular system, your neurological preservation, and the invisible microscopic exchanges happening on your skin. The science suggests the human-animal bond operates as an integrated life system where two distinct species regulate each other's physiology. Living with an animal creates a continuous biological exchange that directly influences human internal chemistry. In 2013, the American Heart Association evaluated the clinical evidence and issued a statement linking dog ownership to a decreased risk of cardiovascular disease. This link is driven by measurable systemic changes. Pet owners consistently present with significantly lower systolic blood pressure. In randomized studies, individuals with borderline high blood pressure who adopt a dog see their numbers drop meaningfully within 5 months. Blood lipids improve in tandem. Data shows male dog owners maintaining triglyceride levels around 108 milligrams per deciliter, compared to a baseline of 125 in non-owners, alongside lower total cholesterol. Physical proximity to an animal also dials down the body's fight-or-flight response. During moments of mental stress, having your dog nearby blunts the blood pressure spike and improves heart rate variability. These measurable shifts in blood pressure and lipids build a state of physiological resilience that persists as long as the bond remains active. 18 years of data from the Survey of Health, Aging, and Retirement in Europe reveals that this protection extends to the brain. Adults over 50 who own mammalian pets experience a slower rate of decline in both executive function and episodic memory. Scientists call this a relational reserve. Interacting with a pet forces the brain to remain active, lighting up the prefrontal cortex for attention. Furthermore, anticipating a creature's needs targets the hippocampus, stimulating it to grow new neurons and strengthen memory connections. The active routine of pet care functions as a daily cognitive fitness coach, physically armoring the brain against age-related decline. At a microscopic level, the mechanics of this bond are instantly measurable, and when you lock eyes with your dog, both of your brains release a simultaneous surge of oxytocin. This shared feedback loop acts as a neural stabilizer. It resets the autonomic nervous system, calming the heart rate to counter the chronic stress of modern life. Then there is the microbiome. Dogs and cats track a diversity of bacteria into the home. Sharing skin and gut microbes with a pet trains human immune cells, which is linked to a lower risk of allergies and autoimmune disorders. These biological mechanisms direct combat loneliness, a condition medical researchers now identify as a physical health risk comparable to obesity or smoking. A pet provides a social shelter of unconditional acceptance, which quiets the amygdala, the brain's fear and stress center. At a microscopic level, your pet is continuously dispensing immune education and stress-regulating hormones. We must acknowledge the boundaries of observational research. Because scientists cannot randomly assign dogs to people in a lab, there is a possibility of selection bias. People who have the resources to adopt an animal may be healthier at baseline. We also know that these health benefits require an emotionally complex, reciprocal relationship. The neurological and cardiovascular advantages flow from the daily friction of care, which is why major studies find no measurable mortality benefits for owners of birds or fish. If you already have a dog or cat, you can trigger these biological mechanisms intentionally. Starting tomorrow, use purposeful eye contact and intentional touch to initiate that shared oxytocin loop. For those living alone with cardiovascular or cognitive risk factors, Bringing a rescue animal into the home provides a significant medical advantage. The biology of the human-animal bond provides a source of cardiovascular protection and cognitive support, adding measurable quality and length to your life.